Doctors Without Borders has called for the European Union to provide a safe passage for people fleeing violence in Africa across the Mediterranean Sea. The organization today launched a search and rescue operation with 3 boats in Cape Town. Now, for more on the story, Humanitarian Advisor for Doctors Without Borders, Pedersen, joins us in the studio. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Now, can you tell us briefly about the search and rescue operation?
Yeah, so the search and rescue operation has been going on for some months now. We launched an appeal and a press conference in Cape Town today. So in the Mediterranean Sea, Doctors Without Borders, we're having 3 different boats, ships, which are active in the Mediterranean Sea, in the southern part of the Mediterranean Sea, responding to distress calls and at sea saving, picking up from rafts and boats the people that are seeking protection in Europe and then transporting them from where we pick them up to the European shores.
So these ships are actually there actively right now?
Yes.
Picking up these migrants from the rafts that you described.
The 3 ships that Doctors Without Borders have is part of a response which we have to around the whole Mediterranean, both in Malta, Italy, in Greece, and in the Balkan countries, where we are doing the best we can to, first of all, to provide some dignity to the people that are fleeing horrendous conditions, be it from Syria or Afghanistan, and ultimately also, of course, to provide them with medical care.
Of course. And are they working in conjunction with other fleets, other, the navies from any of the other countries?
Our boats, we are working independently, and we want to maintain that in order to make sure that we pick up the ones that are the most needs, and we pick up the ones that are within the vicinity of where our own ships are operating. Okay,
wonderful. Now, how is the search and rescue mission different from others?
Well, I think the current operations and the missions we're having in the Mediterranean, it's the first time that Doctors Without Borders in many years conduct this kind of operations. But I think the current crisis or the current situation is very strong because there are so many people that are crossing the Mediterranean Sea. 400,000 have crossed, it is estimated this year. However, we must keep in mind that 400,000 is only a fragment of the 4 million people of Syrians that have sought refuge outside of Syria. So although the numbers and the sheer overwhelming sense of trying to help these people, we must still remember it remains the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. Now, how do people, get involved in this rescue mission if they want to?
Well, we have launched an appeal for South Africans to show their solidarity with the people fleeing Syria, Afghanistan, Eritrea, many African countries as well. And there's different ways. We ask South Africans to do so by donating. They can go to our website, www.msf.org.za.
Okay, great. Now, and how long is this rescue and search mission going to take, in your estimate?
That's a very good question. It's difficult to say, and as part of what we said during our press conference in Cape Town today, and when we presented to the European Parliament yesterday, is that this is not the solution. Search and rescue operations is not providing a sustainable solution. What needs to be made sure is that the people who are seeking protection in Europe have a safe way to do so. Crossing the Mediterranean in a little boat is not a safe way to do so.
Exactly. Now, in your opinion, how best can this migrant issue be resolved?
Well, it's a very complex issue. I think if we look at the context where people are fleeing from, Afghanistan, Pakistan, African countries, areas of conflict, areas of deprivation, I think that's where the solution lies. And until there is a much broader approach taken to this whole complex area, then we won't see a solution forthcoming.
Now, you're calling on the European Union to provide a safe passage for these migrants across the Mediterranean Sea. What kind of response are you getting from them?
Well, as you may have noticed during the summit in Brussels yesterday, many of the member states of the European Union seem to agree to disagree on exactly how to address this issue. Not much in terms of a sustainable solution or a adequate solution has been brought forward by the European Union thus far.
Now, in your opinion, I mean, you know, there's this view that, you know, either Europe must get involved or the African countries must get involved. You know, the problem is multifold, you know, as you know. What do you think? I mean, are they going to be talking to each other? Is it purely a European Union issue? Is it an African issue?
I think they will be, and they are talking together, but I think it's important that everybody realizes that it's not an issue that can be addressed by one country, by one continent. This is a global phenomenon, and as such there needs to be a much bigger discussion about it. So of course that requires that entities, the EU speaks together with the African Union, for example, and needs a much more sympathetic understanding to why people are actually crossing the Mediterranean Sea.
For sure. Thank you very much indeed for coming in to talk to us about this initiative. It's a wonderful initiative, and we would like to urge all our people to actually get involved in the search and rescue mission.